For many years, I struggled with manifesting the things that I desired and wanted for my life. I tried things such as the law of attraction, listening to Abraham Hicks. I tried things like The Secret. I sat and I visualized the things that I wanted. I worked on removing any past life trauma, any trauma from this current lifetime. I felt into my body to try to remove anything that was there, like that didn't support my manifestations or my fears, different things that could have prevented me from manifesting. The main thing I was trying to really work on was money. I wanted to support myself. I wanted to support myself and my daughter. I'm a single parent. I wanted to support us. I wanted us to have the many different things that most parents want for their children. And so I worked really hard with that in manifesting. Of course, I had my jobs and I maintained in the 3D physical realm, but I wanted to manifest more opportunities for myself and more ways to make more money. And I would say that I can honestly say that this desire to manifest more money actually began even before my daughter was born. So it was around the time I was a teenager. More so getting out of high school, going into college, and also coming out of college. During college and coming out of college, I really worked toward that. And as I learned more, I tried different things. So I would say for about 20 years, I was trying to manifest and reading books and listening to different speakers and praying and meditating and just trying everything that I could, and nothing worked. Nothing worked. I even had blocks, whereas I would apply to higher paying jobs and those doors didn't open. I tried to relocate. That door didn't open. I tried to get promotions and that door didn't open. There was even a time where I was close enough to getting a promotion, whereas we had to take a test. And I was one of the top 3 to pass the test, which means that the promotion could have been mine. And things were underhandedly done so that I couldn't get the promotion. After a while, I started to realize that, or started to feel that there was something else, for lack of a better phrase, bigger than me, preventing me from manifesting. In addition, I found that whatever I prayed for, whatever I truly desired, I could even have a thought of a desire of something, excuse me, whatever that was, there was someone either I knew, someone close to me, whether it was a coworker, a friend, someone on Facebook, Instagram. As soon as I had that desire, whether I prayed for it or not, just the thought of it and saying, oh, I want that, wham, it was right in front of my face. Someone that I knew received it exactly how I wanted it, exactly when I wanted it to happen. It was there. And those instances started happening more personally too. Just some personal things that I wanted and I desired. I found that when I took myself off of social media, because I no longer wanted to experience the, I would say, trauma of seeing someone else getting and having what I desired, I removed myself from social media and stopped looking at so many people. You know, don't get me wrong, I was happy for them. It was just one of those things like, well, like, why not me, Lord? Like, what happened? That's what I wanted, you know? But to get rid of that trauma and the hurt and pain and disappointment, that's the main word, the disappointment of not receiving that, I stopped following a lot of people on social media. I stopped going on my social media accounts. And I found that if just by going to work, a coworker of mine would come to me and let me know that they just received or will be receiving soon what I prayed for and what I desired. After a few years of that, it started to dawn on me that there was something else bigger than me going on. There was something else going on. And it wasn't just that Source didn't want me to have it, or it wasn't the right timing, because there's a lot of suffering going on. It was just like I was supposed to suffer. I was supposed to feel some type of suffering. And so with that, I started to realize that. And I was like really sitting in my gut, like something else bigger is going on. So in time, I would say about 2, almost 3 years from now, I was told by someone that, and just speaking about my life and what's going on, I was told by someone close to me that they were hearing, and they had psychic abilities. They were very clairaudient, and they were also a seer. So I was talking to them. They were saying to me, as a close friend of mine, Cara, I keep hearing that it's your mother's karma. Okay. All right, I can see that. At the time, I thought it was my mother's current life karma. Karma from our present lifetime right now. As a parent, you make decisions, and I'm very aware of certain decisions that she has made for when I was younger that prevented me and her as well from having certain opportunities and having more in life and things of that sort. And a lot of fear-based decisions that she made. So that made sense to me. And so, but it wasn't until I was washing dishes, maybe like a week later, that intuitively I started receiving messages, because I'm clairaudient as well. I'm claircognizant, I'm clairvoyant, I'm clairaudient, and I'm clairsentient. I'm also an empath, and I'm a medium. And so during that time, I started to receive messages, specific messages with an explanation of what exactly has been going on all of this time. And so I have a contract with my mother, okay, where I decided that I was going to help to balance out her karma from when in a previous lifetime she did a lot of not so nice things to people, okay? And I decided that in this lifetime I was going to help her balance out her karma, which was going to take, and in the midst of that, of course, there was a lot of sacrifice. There was a lot of sacrifice that I was going to have to make. And at the time when all of this was revealed to me and I decided to do this, I was also revealed what her consequences would be had I not helped to, or what her life would look like and the consequences would be had I not helped her to balance out her karma. And it was something I felt that the sacrifices that I would have to make in this lifetime were very insignificant compared to what she would have to experience. And I decided, why not? At first, I didn't think that was possible. I've never heard of someone helping to balance out someone else's karma. I've always heard that your karma is for you to balance out. That maybe your children could feel the effects of your karma. Yes, because they're underneath you, they're dependent on you, things of that sort. I've never heard that you can actually balance out someone's karma. So needless to say, it took 3 times for Source and my guides to explain this to me. They had to repeat it 3 times for it to finally sink in. And I even recorded myself saying what they were saying so that I can always refer back to my recording. And so, yes, that's what I decided to do in this lifetime. Will it be for my entire lifetime here? No. I was told that it would not be for my entire lifetime. I was told that there was something I was going to have to do to initiate the end of the contract that I had with her, or I don't know if it's a breaking of the contract, but towards the end of the contract, there was something that I was going to have to do. It was going to require the help of someone, and it was something that I was going to have to do to end the contract. That it wasn't going to happen automatically, and I'm okay with that. I haven't been told what that is yet. My whole point with this is, we're not told these things. Right? So we come here, we're told to, if you want something, make it happen. If you want to have a certain type of lifestyle, get an education, or, do whatever you can to get a good job, or, work hard, and, don't stop or that's in the 3D physical realm. But in the spiritual realm, just, do the law of attraction, visualize, this, that, all these different things we're told to do to manifest. And I'm not saying those things don't work. They do work. But what happens with people like me and possibly you where it's not working? And no one has ever told us that there are other reasons why these things may not be working. And it may not be because Source doesn't want it for you. It's not meant for you in this lifetime, or you just have to be patient. You know, we're not told all these things. So I began to think about this, right? I began to think about the different steps, the different reasons why this could be. Okay, so let's talk about before you come here. It is my understanding that you help to lay out what your life is going to look like. You have guides, you know, because sometimes we forget. A lot of us are not from here, so we may not know the experience of trials and tribulations and suffering, or even free will. We may not be familiar with all those things. So we do have guides that help us to formulate and to help us plan out what our life's going to look like, right? So along this journey of our lifetime, we pick our parents, we pick different things, we pick different experiences that we say we want to experience, because there's different lessons that we want to learn while we're here. There's different ways that we want to grow while we're here. There's different experiences that we want to experience while we're here. There's this whole divine plan that we help orchestrate. Okay, so by the time we pass away, hopefully we have successfully learned the lessons, experienced things we were supposed to experience, grow in the areas that we wanted to grow, so on and so forth. So I call those things, those faded things. There's things that, like, no matter what, they're happening. For instance, I have a twin flame. Okay, no matter what I did, no matter where I went, it was destined for me to meet my twin flame. No matter, and life was going to always lead me down that path for that to happen. And whatever would take me off that path wasn't meant for me, right? So those are things that are predestined. Do we tend to remember what they are? No, we don't. However, where we live, people we meet, our family members, things we experience, they all guide us in that direction. Then we have, and technically with that, the free will is more limited, right? Then we have our choices, right? We can choose. So in between those, I say, like, in between those certain points where things are destined or fated to happen, we have other experiences that, whether we experience them or not, or how they turn out, or what it looks like, it depends on the choices that we make. Okay, and so that's where free will comes in, and that helps to dictate, you know, more so what the life's going to look like, with some fluidity in that. So we have those two things, right, that help to plan out our life. Then we have, in my instance, contracts that we have that we don't remember before we get here. Contracts with other people or beings, or with ourselves, you know. And now that we're learning more and more about extraterrestrials and the role that they're playing, and even animals and all beings throughout all time and space and dimensions, and they're here and they're helping us and assisting us, and a lot of us have contracts with them. Okay, they also play a part in what is meant for us and what is not, and what we experience, what we don't experience. Okay, and then I'm sure that in some aspects we have free will, whether or not we want to work with them or not, but that also plays a part. These things people don't tell you about that really can determine if something's meant for you. And there's also, speaking of that, sometimes we decide before we come here that there's certain things that we will not experience, or we're not going to experience, we don't want to experience, right? And those may be the things that our heart, sometimes we may want to desire something, and it's just not meant for us. And if we were to receive it, it wouldn't be for our highest and greatest good. No matter how good it sounds, no matter how pretty it looks, it won't be particularly for your highest and greatest good, because it's not what you decided that you wanted to experience. It's not a part of your journey. It's not a part of a lesson that you need to learn, a way that you need to grow, something you want to experience, right? We're not told these things. We're just told the specific black and white of, if you do this, then you'll get that. And if you don't get that, then something's wrong. Or, you know, And if you're religious, then it may be because you're a sinner, or maybe because, things like that. And then you think of, well, God's no respecter of any persons, and, God's the same with everyone. Well, what's wrong with me? And blah, 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 blah. And it's because we're not told these things. And I think these things are very important to know, so that in the midst of, if you think about your life and you look at what you're going through, what you have and don't have, what you're trying to attain, what you're not attaining, somewhere along the line, once you understand or get some clarity, for me, I received some information intuitively. If you find that you're not that intuitive, then maybe you can go to speak to someone. Maybe you can get a past life reading. Maybe you can speak to someone who's a psychic, someone that can really look into your life and who's intuitive, that can let you know exactly what's going on. That way you know better how to navigate it. And the things that you're not meant for you, you can release. And then there's a sense of surrender. Me finding out about my contract with my mother I was able to excel. I was able to surrender to my life and say, okay, all right, I get it now. This makes sense. I was able to look back, and I had so much more clarity, because before I was working so hard, trying to do so many things, thinking the next thing, maybe if I try something else, I'll have a breakthrough. If I try this, I have a breakthrough. And it robbed me. It robbed me of spending time with my daughter that I could have spent with her. It robbed me of my joy. It robbed me of enjoying my life, because I was always contemplating, what can I do next? Nothing is working. But once I found out about the contract, I was able to exhale, I was able to surrender, and I was able to better navigate what I needed to do, what can be and cannot be. I was able to actually, my prayers, I was able to pray specifically with the knowledge that I have. So I was able to create prayers that were more specific with what was really going on, what's really going on, and praying for those things. And I'm able to enjoy life more now. I'm able to relax more now. And I'm able to just better navigate my life as a whole. It is so freeing and relaxing. It really is. And I'm able to forgive myself for, or just give myself grace first off, but then also forgive myself for how I made it so hard for myself previously with the lack of knowledge, but there's just certain ways I was able to forgive myself. And I was able to explain things to my daughter. I was teaching my daughter about spirituality. I was teaching her about manifesting and things like that, because as you learn, you want your children to learn. But the thing is, I'm showing her all of these things and nothing was working. Nothing was manifesting. And I'm saying, well, mom is going to do this for this. She's going to, work hard for this promotion, and our lives will be different. I'm going to manifest this. Just give me this time to do my meditations, to work on this, to study that, to just blah, 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 blah. And then our lives will be different. Our life wasn't different. So then I was able to explain to my daughter why. And I'm so grateful that she understood, so we both have a better understanding of our life. And so I hope that this message, I hope whoever needed this message, whoever's going through some issues with manifesting, I hope this helps you. I hope it resonates with you. And I would say like I said, go within, ask yourself, your higher self, ask Source to reveal to you what exactly is going on. Why aren't these things manifesting? And if you feel led, seek outside help with someone. Like I said, a psychic, get a past life reading. That's what they're there for. They're there. These people that have these gifts and abilities are there to assist us and help us to better navigate this life. And I've used all types of tools to help myself. Psychics, past life readings, life coaches, spiritual life coaches. I've had energy healings, because we have a lot of blocks in our bodies from things from this lifetime and past lifetime. I did not know that. You can carry energy and trauma from a past lifetime into your current body. It's like I won't even say cellular memory. I guess it's like cells are energy, but it's something your soul brings in. It can bring in. And so those things need healing as well. I guess the same way as you can bring in phobias. We're born with these certain phobias. They don't make sense in this lifetime. It's a past lifetime thing. And for a lot of us, a lot of old souls like me, okay, I'm an old soul. We come with a lot of stuff if we haven't taken the time to heal it in past lifetimes. So I hope this helps you, and I hope it helps you better navigate your life to get the answers that you're seeking, so that you can surrender like I did and enjoy life more and get more clarity and a better understanding, and which will also help you to better focus on the lessons that you're supposed to learn, and the experiences you're supposed to experience, and the gifts you're supposed to develop, and the things you're supposed to do as far as fulfilling your purpose. Now you can focus on those things, what's meant for you, right? And then make better decisions in your choices on what you can experience. So I hope this helped you, and I'll do another reading soon.